Well, hello everybody. This is Jay Sipkis. Thank you for being on our call today. We're going to go through the particulars of our term products today and the ways that they can help you get more cases issued with your clients, and some of the things we do on the backside to help you be more successful with the types of cases that you try and send to us. Some housekeeping first for you. This webinar is being recorded, so you'll get a copy of the recording later on today. We'll also send out a copy of the slides themselves so that you can review those at your leisure. Those will come via email to you later on this evening. There are copies of the other trainings that we've done available on the agent website. I'll show you where those are at later on if you want to see some of the things we've done to help do agents understand our company in general. We've done a couple of sessions on things like our final expense products and a deeper dive on those, similar to how we're going to do our term products today. So if you got questions, comments, concerns, trying to understand what we do, how we do it, why we think we're so good at it, all that good stuff, we'll go through our agent website later on today to see that. A little bit about myself. I started in the insurance business back in 2002 as an agent. I worked as an agent, a sales manager, and a regional director for a captive company for about 7 years. I owned my own independent agency for about 3 years after that. And for the last 10 years now, I've been on the carrier side with the independent side of our business, working with agents like yourselves. And what I try to do when we go through products and processes like this is that I don't spend all of our time on just the product, the process, but I will also spend time on how it makes a difference for you from a prospecting standpoint, from a presentation standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from getting a referral standpoint, the other part of the things that you have to do out there. So in that regard, this might be a little bit different than some of the other carrier training and webinar sessions that you sat through, hopefully in a good manner for you. But so we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll go through for about 45 minutes or so. At the end of each section, I will try to answer any questions that come in. You have a question box in your app or on your desktop there as you're watching this. Feel free to drop questions to us. I probably won't answer it as I'm speaking, but when we get to the end of the section that we're going through, I'll try and go back and answer whatever questions have come in. If for some reason I can't answer your question in a group setting like this, whether based on time or just how detailed your question might be, I will get back to you with an email with an answer on those things. Okay, so again, thank you for being on our call today. Today we're going to go through some things about our company, kind of the overview of our company and where we come from and where we're at and where we're going. And the crux of this meeting today is to talk about our term products. So the features, benefits, and riders that are in there, how they benefit you, how they benefit your clients, the underwriting, and then we're going to go through a detailed e-application. I'm going to take you through screen by screen exactly what you're going to put in there, what to look out for, what different messages mean, all that good stuff. And then we'll spend some time on the agent website, how to track your business, how to order supplies with us, how to contact us with comments, questions, concerns, whatever you have going on. And it's a very simple and easy website for you to use. So with all that being said, our company, we go back to 1910. For those who don't know us, we have an A excellent rating with AM Best. The bottom line is that we're strong and secure. We'll be here to pay your clients' claims. We'll be here to pay your commissions to you. Our portfolio products include very easy to issue final expense and term policies for the most part. We keep things simple. We want it to be easy and simple for you and easy and simple for your client so that you can get coverage on them very easily and simply. We pride ourselves on our customer service, and to take it to another step further, we pride ourselves on our agent service. We want to earn your business, and that's important to us as a company. And really, where the rubber meets the road at on that is when you look at our sales over the last 10 years or so. Back in 2010, we did about $26 million of business. You fast forward about 5 years, we did about $60 million of business. That's almost basically doubled our sales in 5 years. From 2015 to 2020, we went from 60 million to over 127 million. So again, we doubled it in the last 5 years again, and that doesn't happen by accident. We put in processes and systems and products and service things that we do to help you as an agent be successful with us. We take your feedback very seriously, and we want you to be successful, to say the least. So with all that being said, we're going to spend some time going through our products in general. Okay, and then as I mentioned before, I'm going to go through the underwriting and the e-application itself here in just a little bit. And just keep in mind that this is being recorded, and we will get a copy of this out to you at the later on today. So our term products, why would you want to sell? Well, if you want something simple and fast, this is a great process for you to use. It's a simple one-page application. It's a front and back if it were a piece of paper. And we have an average of a 3-day turnaround time from the time you submit to us to the time we get you the policy mailed out the door. So application comes in, it's relatively clean from an underwriting standpoint. If we get that application on Monday, we'll process everything on a Tuesday, and we will send it out to you. The policy itself will get mailed on a Wednesday. Very fast turnaround time, very easy, and you can track all this progress on our agent website. Our term products, there are no paramed exams for any of them. Okay, our term products, no paramed exams for any of them. So there's no blood draws, there's no urinalysis stuff, there's no nobody's coming by their house, check their blood pressure and check their height and weight and all that stuff. We don't utilize that stuff. We want to utilize electronic ways of getting information to us. We have liberal height and weight charts on these products, and we want to do business with you however you do business for yourself. So whether you do the things face-to-face primarily, which would be like whether you do a paper application or an e-application, we can do an e-signature, obviously. Perhaps you conduct business by Zoom calls, and you like to kind of do a face-to-face virtual meeting, usually either that e-signature process or even an email signature where you can email the application to them. They can do a DocuSign through their email and sign everything and send it back to you. That's an option for us as well as a voice signature. So maybe you sell over the phone. You can have call us up and do the signature via voice and get it done that way too. So we have lots of ways for you to submit business to us and lots of ways to get your application signed with us. So we want to be flexible with you. We have competitive premiums and great riders. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the riders of our policies because those are important. Important for a lot of reasons. Number one, they help you sell more in the houses that you're in. They can also help you get more referrals down the road. And one of the great parts about our term products is that for a product that has no paramed exam, liberal height and weight chart, liberal underwriting in general, these things can be sold up to people who are up to age 75. Okay, I'll explain which products can go up to age 75 for you. But what it means for you is that maybe you have clients who are, working past the historical retirement age. Maybe their spouse is still working. Whatever that situation might be, we've got options for you to get coverage for them without having to require all those paramed exams and all the other things that people often have to do for other term companies out there. So we want to be fast and efficient and easy for you and easy for your client to get coverage with us. Generally speaking, these products are simplified issue. There's no exam, there's no blood work needed. Okay, so there's no paramed exam for you to worry about scheduling. You don't have to worry about them dodging phone calls from EMSI or Portamed or whoever it is that they're doing, other companies are using for their paramed exams. None of that takes place with us. Okay, we issue our cases standard through Table 4. If you don't know what that means, it means that your clients can have some health conditions and still get issued with us. Okay, so we consider the following stuff. We look at the application itself. Okay, so whatever is on there. We've got a liberal height and weight chart that they need to fit into, which when you see the heights and weights and how liberal they are, most people that you come across would fit in on it. We pull their MIB, which is their Medical Information Bureau, as well as their script check, their prescription history, to get an idea of their medical history. And then only for the larger face amounts for the older crew do we do a telephone interview with the client. Okay, that's if applicable. Most of the time, we're not doing telephone interviews. Okay, Based on those things, we will issue cases for you. As I mentioned before, without that paramed exam, which we never issue or that we never ask for. We have a couple tools that you're going to use with our term products to help you figure out whether your client can be approved with us. Obviously, if your client's not going to be approved, it probably doesn't make much sense for you to do an application on them, right? Well, you can very easily and very readily on your own determine that in most cases. Sometimes you have some more complex situations. I'll show you where to go for those. But for your basic situations, let's say you got a client with high blood pressure, okay, and they're taking 2 or less medications, and they can provide their current blood pressure reading history. Well, if we go in our impairment listing, which is in our agent guide, and I'll show you later on in the agent portal section where to access these agent guides at. Our impairment listing shows about 200 different health conditions out there. Okay, it's got the plan recommendation, that is what we would probably end up doing for the different coverage or riders, and then it corresponds to a certain question number on the application. So in this case, we have somebody who has hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, and if they control it with 2 or less medications and they can provide their current blood pressure reading history, if you look across the chart for the life or for the other riders, everything says standard on there. That means that we would be able to issue somebody with that situation. Now, if you have a client who is uncontrolled high blood pressure, or they use 3 or more medications to control it, then we would probably decline those situations, as you can see in the chart right there. And then there's other criteria that every impairment's going to have different criteria listed, and it will tell you on the different riders out there as well whether we can cover them for that rider or not. Okay, so the first column, the life column, is the base policy. That's what you want to look at first, because if they can't get the base life policy, they probably can't get any of the riders either. Okay, so the impairment listing is your first tool you're going to use. The second tool you're going to use is our prescription reference guide. We've got over 200 medications listed in there. It's got the common uses and then what they're going to be eligible for based upon the medication and then what they're using it for. So furosemide is a great example of a dual use medication. Furosemide can be used for anything from high blood pressure all the way over on the other end of the spectrum for congestive heart failure. A lot of companies automatically assume if you take furosemide that you already have congestive heart failure, but that's not true. So furosemide, if the client is taking it just for hypertension or high blood pressure, you see where it says there's a star below. Star below says, hey, if it's high blood pressure is controlled with 2 or less medications, they could qualify for the plan. If it's controlled with 3 or more, they will not be eligible for coverage. So the prescription guide will give you some perspective into what we will do and what we won't do from a coverage standpoint. Now, when you get into situations where your client's got 4 or 5 different health conditions all going on at the same time, you're not sure about where the medications fit in at, you're just you got a lot of gray areas out there. Now, you could submit an application to us, or you could just start and send us a risk assessment. We'll give you some perspective on whether or not we think we can cover them or not. Our risk assessments are done one of 2 ways. The main way I would recommend, if you're during normal business hours from about 8 a.m. to about 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, get on our agent website, and I'll show you this later on where it's at. There's a live chat feature in the corner of the website once you log in. And you can do a live chat with them right then and there. You'll get routed through the system to the risk assessment area to an underwriter. You'll be able to tell them, hey, the client takes this medication, they've had this surgery, they had this, and this. And within just a few seconds, they'll answer right back with, well, based on the information you told me, I think they would qualify. Or, hey, I need to know more information about this medication, or we need more information about this. They'll help you figure out, before you go through the whole application process, whether or not your client can be approved with us or not. Now, if you don't want to do the live chat feature, you could also send an email to us, or if you're seeing somebody after hours. So you're seeing somebody at night and you need to get some questions answered about their health and how it all ties in together, you can send an email to us at riskassess@aatx.com. And then the next morning, we would get back to you with your answers to the questions that you put in the email. So a couple of different ways to check with us. The risk assessments on the live chat are fast and they're easy. We'll get back to you in just a few minutes. You'll have your answers that way. So You can use the live chat feature for lots more than just risk assessments with us. You can check commission status, check policy status, check get help on marketing stuff. There's about 10 different things you can do with the live chat feature that we've enabled with that feature. And it's been the most popular way for agents to communicate with us. So check it out next time you're on our agent website to get that information for you. So our term products, for the most part, all have the same riders on them. There's some variation from product to product, but most of them have the same riders available. Now, the ones that don't, they'll be noted on here. But all of them, now this varies by state. I'm talking to you, California, but most states also have the availability of no cost riders. So we give out 3 riders on our term products at no cost. First one is for terminal illness, second one's for confined care, and the third one is for chronic illness. Okay, we have some optional riders that go beyond that as well. On the no cost riders, I'll touch on why these are more important in just a little bit, but what they allow you to do as an agent is, instead of just talking about death benefits for your clients and buying insurance for the next of kin or the family or the spouse or whoever you're setting up as a beneficiary, what these no-cost riders allow you to do as an agent is show them how life insurance can become living insurance for themselves. Because you see, all these riders create money or create situations where your clients can access their death benefit while they're still alive. Now, the takeaway for you as an agent is that when you're sitting there talking to your clients about life insurance, when one of the main objections people have, or one of the issues that people have you have to get over, sometimes they think about what's in it for me. And when you're able to show them, hey, what's in it for you, Mr. Jones, is that if you're terminally ill, we can help you with this, or if you're confined, or if you have a chronic illness, we can put money in your pocket to help pay your expenses for you. Now, most of the time, your clients aren't going to tell you that they're thinking that, but they're thinking that. So use these no-cost riders as a way to overcome that objection before they even voice it, which they probably won't voice it anyway. So use those riders to your advantage. I'm going to go into more details about the no-cost riders in just a minute. Let me go through the optional riders, though, first. The return of premium is available on 2 of our plans. And return of premium is often used by agents when clients are concerned about paying for term insurance and not getting anything from it, right? Because by definition, if you have term for 20 years, let's just say, and the term expires, you paid money to an insurance company, and relatively speaking, you haven't gotten any benefit from it. Yes, you had coverage, so there is benefit there, but at the end of the day, you paid money out and you didn't receive anything back for it. Return of premium allows your client to pay all those premiums over the course of time, and then at the end of the term, they would get 75% of every dollar they paid all back in one lump sum at the end of their term. So rather than them paying this money and not getting anything back from it, you can show them, hey, we can get you 75% of your money back if we add this rider on there for you. So it's a nice way for people to overcome that worry about, well, if I don't use it, I wasted my money. We also have a critical illness rider available on our term products too that will pay a cash benefit if your client has something like a heart attack or a stroke or one of those other cancer critical illnesses out there, and they get money that they can then use for paying their bills, for paying their rent, for lost income, all the other reasons that you receive a health insurance benefit like that. It's a great rider on there, and it pays a defined benefit out based upon them having a certain, the certain different types of critical illnesses out there. So it's a great rider for them to add. There's a disability income rider, where if your client is disabled, we will pay, paying on how much they insure for, they can get an income payable to them every month based on disability or an accident-only total disability benefit rider. So a lot of the people who work in blue-collar jobs, maybe they work in labor somehow, and that accident-only total disability benefit rider is a nice rider to have on there for them. Waiver of premium allows them, if your client is disabled and they can't work, they would still have their policy stay in force, even though they may not be able to pay their premium. That's what waiver of premium does for them. They have a waiver of premium for unemployment. So if they're collecting unemployment from the state, we will not have to collect their premium from them in order to keep their policy in force. There's a children's insurance agreement they can add to it for coverage for the kids. There's an accidental death benefit as well. So you can add additional coverage for them for just accidental death that really adds a great value to your client in that way. And then there's also a level term insurance rider on one of our products too. So we've got a nice broad range of riders out here that you can pick and choose what's important. Let me spend a minute though and go through the no-cost riders, the first two out there. The terminal illness accelerated benefit rider says that if your client is diagnosed as having a life expectancy of 12 months or less, okay, it's 24 in some states, but most states it's 12 months or less, that client can then get up to 100% of their death benefit, okay, when that happens. Now that benefit's typically paid out on a tax-free basis, okay, so it's considered a death benefit to your client. Now we talked about the what's in it for me for your clients out there. Well, what's in it for you, Mr. Jones, in this life insurance policy is that if you get sick, the doctor says you have less than 12 months to live, you can receive your death benefit while you're still alive. You can use this money for paying your bills. You can use it for your lost income. You can use it to pay your mortgage. You can use it to pay your medical expenses. You can use it for experimental treatments. You can use it for traveling. You can have your family fly in. You can use it for anything that you want. This is your money to do with as you please. Now that would lower the benefit available to the beneficiaries in the future, but this option is available for people with that terminal illness. The same thing works with the accelerated benefits rider for confined care. If your client is confined to a nursing home, okay, if they're confined to a nursing home, they can get a monthly payment out of their policy of 5% of the face amount up to $5,000 a month. And that money can be used for anything they want. Again, for paying the rent, for paying the cost of the nursing home, for lost income, for paying medical bills, for hiring a caretaker to take care of the house when they're not living at the house anymore. Whatever they need, this money is going to be there for them. Okay. And these, again, riders come at no cost for them. The other rider for the chronic care says that if your client can't perform 2 out of their 6 activities of daily living, which are things like bathing, putting on your clothes, feeding yourself, they can access the money in their policy that way as well. So it gives them a lot of opportunities to access the death benefit in their policy without actually having to pay. Let me spend a minute on each of the main 3 products that we sell out there. Our Easy Term product, it's got a 10, a 20, 30-year duration. The premiums are guaranteed. On the 20 and 30-year products, there's a return of premium available for it. Okay, so we got return of premium available on 2 of the 3 main products that we sell. I'll explain. I'll show you a chart at the end of here so you can kind of compare and contrast the products against each other. Once that term expires, so that 10-year, that 20-year, that 30-year term expires, most insurance companies, including our own, your policy will turn into what's called an annual renewable term. Now, at that point, the premium goes up exponentially, and then it continues to increase year after year until they either drop it or they pass away. For the most part, people don't like that because that increased cost is pretty substantial. For people who are concerned about that, you can convert any plan of term insurance with us all the way up until the age of 75, and they can convert it to a permanent plan of insurance, and they don't have to show insurability, so they can lock in their health, they can lock in their rate, and they can lock in their coverage anytime they want down the road with us. So you have that convertibility if they're concerned about losing coverage once that term actually expires. Easy Term is sold up until age 70. Okay, so it's a 10-year up until age 70. 20-year up to age 65, and a 30-year up until age 55. If you're doing return of premium, the ages are a little bit more restricted, in that 20-year return of premium up until age 60, and then 30-year up until age 50. Our term policies, the first 2 I'm going to talk about, are awesome for how low you can go for the actual minimum face amounts. Only $25,000 to get in. The maximum face amounts on these are each $300,000. And this product in particular looks at male, female, and then you're either tobacco or non-tobacco. We consider tobacco use to be basically anything that puts nicotine in your system. So there's that. The next line of products are our mortgage protection products. They are now, depending on what distribution you work with, you might see a product like Home Protector. You might see a product called Home Certainty. Those are similar products, and that's what we're talking about here. There are some minor differences between the two. I'm going to talk about the similarities between the two, but if that's the product that you have, please look on the agent website for the exact 100% details about your product in particular. But in general, they're going to have a 15, a 20, 25, and a 30-year duration available. Those premiums are still guaranteed. Return of premiums available on the 20, 25, and 30. So if you're looking for return of premium, either the easy term or this mortgage protection series are the two to look at with us. And then they always become an ART, and you can always convert them like we just talked about. Okay. The mortgage protection products have the 15, 20, 25, and 30 year. They start at age 65, and then every time you get a longer duration, the maximum age goes down some. So the 30-year level, for example, can be issued through age 50. And on this product, the return of premium levels are the same as the regular plan. So like a 30-year return of premium can be sold to somebody up until age 50. The issue limits and face amounts are the same as the easy term, 25,000 minimum, 300,000 maximum. This product in particular looks at either tobacco or non-tobacco, but men and women get the same rates, what's called a unisex rate out there. So when you run a quote and it doesn't ask you for male, female, that's why, because men and women get the same rates. This product in particular has an extra question on the application. It says, does the applicant have a mortgage? Okay. This question must be answered yes to be eligible for coverage on this product series. Now, that mortgage could be for $100 still, or it could be for $1 million. The amount doesn't matter in relation to how much they're applying for. So as long as they have a mortgage, they're good to go. Now, in the future, if they already have coverage in force, when they apply for it, they have a mortgage in place. 5 years down the road, they sell their house or they pay off their mortgage, whatever it is, they can still keep their coverage down the road. We are only looking at the time of application, do they have a mortgage? And that question needs to be answered yes. However, we don't ask for bank statements. We don't ask for mortgage statements, anything like that to prove it. But we do need that question affirmatively answered yes. Our third product is our Term Made Simple product. Okay, not all distributions have access to this one, but we have a 10, a 15, a 20, a 30-year duration on this one. It's got, again, the guaranteed premiums and death benefits, just like the others. It's issued standard through Table 4. It becomes that ART after the thing expires. So if they're concerned about that, you might want to consider converting some or part or all of it before it expires, before they turn 75. And Term Made Simple has preferred rates available on it. That's one of the things that stands out with it. Makes it a nice option for your seniors who might be in better health out there, who might be able to get a better rate on a life insurance policy out there. Term Made Simple is issued up through age 75. It's got a 10-year for 75-year-olds. It's got a 15-year for 70s. It's got a 20-year for up to 65, and then a 30-year for up to age 55. The minimum issue limit on this is higher. It's 50,000 instead of 25, but the maximum is higher also. It's 500,000 instead of 300,000. That goes for all ages out there. It doesn't lower as the client gets older. The premium rate classes on this, you're either a standard tobacco, a standard non-tobacco, or for those who can qualify, can become a preferred non-tobacco with us. Now, from a preferred standpoint, some things to keep in mind: they can't have used tobacco or nicotine anytime in the last 3 years. There's a unique build chart with it that's probably more closer to the standard build chart than anything. It's not even what if you sell term with other carriers, it's not even that preferred build chart. It's more liberal than that even. And then we have some longer look-back periods in certain health conditions and drug and alcohol abuse. The agent guide's got all the preferred guidelines in it, and you'll know pretty quickly when you talk to your client whether or not you think they might be able to apply for that preferred rate out there. Okay, so let me compare and contrast the three products to each other real quick. So easy term, remember 25,000 minimum, 300,000 maximum, goes up to age 70, and return of premium is available on it. That mortgage protection series we talked about was 25 and 300,000, the same. The maximum age is only 65, but return of premium is still available, and it looks at men and women as having the same rate. Our term made simple has a higher minimum, a higher maximum, goes older, but there's no return of premium available on it. So if you're looking for return of premium, the first two are the ones you're going to look at. If return of premium is not important to you, then you can probably look at all of them. If your client is in pretty good health, you might want to look at term made simple because that preferred rating is available. Now, we also look at their motor vehicle report on term made simple, which we look at their history of moving infractions, DUIs, and things like that. So keep that in mind as you're doing the application processes with us. If your client has some driver's history issues in their past, you might want to look at easy term and the mortgage protection products instead, because term made simple is going to pull those, whereas the other products will not. And we can always accept applications however you want to send them to us. So whether that's e-app or voice or email signatures, we can handle all the above on all three different product lines out there for you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to spend some time going through the application itself for you here. So we pulled some screens, and I'm going to take you through step by step and show you how easy and simple this application is to use. The great thing about using an e-application is that you can't screw it up. Okay? It won't let you submit things to us unless it's fully completed. Now, you can type things in wrong. Okay? You can misspell their name. You can put their date of birth wrong, but you could write that out also. But what you can't do is you can't omit their birth date. You can't omit their signature. You can't miss a square. All these things have to be filled out. The intelligence in the system won't let you submit without it. We also don't have to try to read your handwriting either, which for some people is okay and some people it's not. There's just a lot of benefit to using e-applications out there for yourself as opposed to a paper application. All of our mobile tools can be found at www.insuranceapplication.com. This is our American Amicable owned website where we keep most of our mobile tools for the applications themselves. You can run quotes on there. So if you pull this up on your phone or your tablet or your iPad or whatever device you're using, you'll get a screen like this, and you can go to any of these buttons if you want to pull quotes through the phone quoter. You can send us apps or documents that are associated with whatever you need to get to us. So if you do a paper app, you need to scan it and send it to us, you can do it through here. You can do some online bank authorizations for your clients too on here. So there's lots of different options for you. We recently added a service request button on there, which kind of is a one-stop shop for you to get information to us. And we'll talk about that later on once we get to it. So as I mentioned, you don't miss any forms. We process e-apps quickly, okay, and then everything is figured out right from a rate standpoint. You can use your iPad or similar tablet devices. It's agent friendly. They can sign on their screen. They can use your finger. They can use a stylus. You can save stuff to complete at a later time. You can send documents to us. You can transmit it electronically with a click of a button. It's available at your fingertips anytime you need it. And the registration process for this is super simple. Okay, so it's really designed for tablet devices. You need an internet connection. It does not have to be done face-to-face. Okay, so we can still do things by phone. Okay, you can do things face-to-face or virtually with these processes. Okay. So registration, you need your agent writing number first. If you've never done this before, you'll just go in and put in your agent number, okay? And then you'll go on, click through, and then you'll log in. You put in your agent number, put your password in, and then there's an authentication if you've never used it before that will take you through, and then it'll take you into where you can do a new application. So select new application from the main menu. Click on where that little green arrow is pointing at right there. Right below that, there's applications in progress, and then there's stuff that you previously transmitted to us. This could be any product line, whether it's final expense or term or or UL with us, and all your old stuff that is still sitting out there or stuff that you've already sent to us will be in the appropriate spot for it. Okay, so if you do an application and you didn't quite get it all done for whatever reason, it will be sitting there in the applications in progress area. And if you did send something to us, it'll be in the previously transmitted area there for you. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is select what company, product, what state you're writing it in. Okay, now this is where the application is signed at. Okay, and this is important if you're doing applications virtually, whether you're doing them via Zoom call or you're doing them by phone. Where your client is located is what is important here. Okay, if you're located in Illinois and your client is located in Texas, you're going to use the Texas forms. You also have to have a Texas license. You must be licensed in the jurisdiction in which your client is located when they sign the application. Okay? It's very important that you do that. A few states require you to be fully appointed prior to doing an application, but that's states like Pennsylvania require that, for example. Most states will allow us to appoint you in those states once we receive your first application. Okay, so but it takes a couple extra days first time you send us an app to get everything squared away that way, but then everything goes through smoothly after that. Once you get in, you're gonna have a couple options. How is the proposed insured gonna sign this application? And you can do a voice signature, or they can sign on the screen, or they can email for signature. For purposes of this, we're gonna assume that your client's gonna sign on the screen, or you're gonna email it to them for a signature, okay? Next screen is gonna ask you for the data points, okay? So at the top of the screen up here, there's an area that's got, it's got quote, it's got underwriting, personal info, agent statement, and signatures. When you first start, all of these will be in red and will all say incomplete. Okay? As you go through and finish one up, the status will change to complete once you move on to the next screen. Okay, so we're gonna put the client's date of birth. For example, if you miss something, you'll see a big REQ will come up when you try to advance on the next screen. Okay, you can save what you have and go back to the very first screen by hitting save and return to applications pending if you want. If you get part of the way through and decide the client has to go somewhere or something like that, you can save this thing, come back to it later with that button right there. On the underwriting personal info screen, you can advance to the next entry screen without completing all the rec fields by clicking the indicated here link. Okay, so if you want to advance, say, to the health questions and go through those with your client before you fill things out before that, you wouldn't necessarily have to fill out all the stuff on that page. If you just click the here right there, it'll take you past that page. Now you have to come back and complete it at some point before you submit it to us, but our system will let you advance forward in order to do those things for yourself. Now, once you put all the information on the first screen, you hit quote. It'll give you a presentation PDF showing the face amount, premium, cash values, whatever is appropriate for whichever product that you decide to run with us. Okay. And then the mobile app, it's going to show you, what the face amount is, and then it's going to show you what the premium is going to be. Okay. Once you put these numbers in there, typically, you can view the PDF presentation, which when you do that, the bottom part will show you what the death benefit would be, and it might show you what the cash value would be in the product as well. Okay, you can view the presentation, you can see the application or go back. So if I wanted to change the face amount or the premium or the riders around, whatever you want to do, I can go back and change things around so that those get what I want them to be. Okay. Then we get to the health information questions on the next part. Okay. There are a few health questions on there, and this is not, I repeat, this is not an application that will knock somebody out for answering yes. Okay, they can answer yes to some of the health questions on there. In fact, it's very common for your clients to answer yes to a health question. When they answer yes to a health question, we need to know more information though. So for example, if the client has high blood pressure, this is where that agent guide comes into play at. It will tell you kind of what information we need to know as far as what medications they take, how long they've taken them for, what's their current blood pressure reading, stuff like that. And there's an area once you select yes on a question, that is, have been treated for high blood pressure. I select yes, I can punch in notes on there and put in anything that's appropriate for our home office to know about the client situation for that question. Okay, so I encourage you to give us as much information as you can about those yes answers, especially when it pertains to what doctor they have, what prescription they're taking, how long they've taken it for, how much they take of it, and what it's actually being used for. Okay, those are very important things to transmit to us. Okay. Once you go through all the health questions, and again, you could have yes answers to multiple questions on them. That's okay. Just make sure you're using the impairment guide and the prescription guide to guide you whether or not they can actually get coverage with us. Because if somebody's taking medications that are a hard no, it probably doesn't do you much good to submit us an application. Okay, so just to make your life easier, that's probably the way to go with that. Once you do all the client's information, you'll continue the agent statement. Okay, you need to get their bank draft information, and then it'll take you down to the do they have replacement coverage? You'll ask them for their beneficiary information, who they are. You can do contingent beneficiaries in there as well, so on and so forth. And they'll ask replacement questions. And then they'll ask you, okay, let's go on to the agent statement. The agent statement, you'll do that, and then you'll hit continue to signature. So the agent statement says, I personally ask each question on this application. I have truly and completely recorded on the application the information supplied by him or her, so on and so forth. Okay. You'll put your name in there. You'll put where it was signed is where the client is located at again. Okay. Remember, where you are as an agent doesn't matter. Where the client is located at is all that matters for where it's signed at. And then any remarks you need to put in there, plus the replacement questions are in there again. You'll put your agent number in there. You'll put your agent name in there. And then what percentage of the sale comes to you. If you need to split it with another agent, we can do that as well. You'll just hit split, 50% or 70% or whatever the percent is going to be. And then another box will come up for you to put the other agent in there if you're splitting it with somebody else. You'll hit continue to signatures, which takes you to the next screen. Now, if you try to move forward, but not everything has been completed, this is where we talk about, you can advance, but send you backwards. You'll get the application is not complete message below. Okay. You look at the top there, and it's got the personal info is not complete and the signatures aren't complete. So we would have to go back to the personal info page and fill in the rest of the information that was required on there before it would actually let us finish up the application itself. So the application is smart. It won't let you complete it. Excuse me, it won't let you submit it without all being done with us. Okay. Once you get everything on the application to the point that the client can sign it, it's going to tell you everything is complete. You see the quotes complete, underwriting complete, personal info complete, agent statement complete, but the signatures are incomplete. Now, we have to view the application. Okay, it's going to pull up the application. You're going to click right there where it says click here. And then once it's been viewed, so this thing will come up in its own page. It'll pull up a brand new screen. All of the information you put in the application on the e-app is going to populate in there to the appropriate fields. So you go through that with your client, make sure everything is correct on there, okay? And then you close it, okay? Once you review it, then you close it down. Click the X, usually on most of the browsers, has a little X for you to click on to close it. Then you're going to add the signatures. They can use a stylus, they can use their finger, whatever makes it better for you. The boxes will pop up, whether it's the applicant, the owner, and payer. Usually it's the same person, but maybe it's not. Have the appropriate person sign the appropriate box. They'll fill in their signature appropriately. If you need to redo it, just hit clear signature box and they can redo it again. Have them try and sign as much as they can in the box, that is from kind of top to bottom, because the algorithm looks for a certain amount of signature. And if you just have a little squiggle in there, it probably won't accept it as a real signature. Okay. So, and then once that gets accepted, it'll show you what the signature will look like. And then you'll typically say, yes, I'll proceed. Okay. We keep on going. Once you've done all the different signatures, in this case, the applicant, the owner, and the payer are all different people. So we had 3 different signatures that went in there. That's not always the case, obviously, but if that is the case, and that's what it's going to look like, it'll show what their signatures are going to look like. Once you hit save signature and continue, you're going to go back to the application in progress screen. Okay. If you can't do all the signatures at the same time, let's say the owner's not going to be there, the payer's not in attendance with you, it's the the father is taking out insurance on his kids who live with their divorced mother, and he just has to get a signature somewhere else. Maybe somebody else is paying for it that way, or whatever the situation is. Now, once you hit save signature and continue, the application still hasn't been sent to us. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. We're still finishing this up. If a telephone interview is required, okay, only if it's required, this screen will come up and say this. Based on the options selected, the application requires a telephone interview to be completed. If this happens, okay, and very few times does it happen, you want to do that interview at the point of sale. Okay, and here's why. If I don't do it at the point of sale, what happens is this thing goes to the home office. Okay, we'll get the application, and then we'll start calling them next day or the day after, somewhere in there. We're calling them from a phone number they don't recognize, which I think anybody who has a cell phone can appreciate all the phone calls you get from numbers you don't recognize. And then they're not going to answer the phone. Then we're going to have to bring you involved and get you involved in the actual setting of the appointment to interview them. Or you can just call us up right now when you're sitting at the point of sale with them and conduct the interview right then and there. Now, you'll know that the interview is not required when you pull up the application. Say interview not required in the top right-hand corner. That's going to be most of the applications you do. Okay, but if it pops up for an interview being required, do it right then and there. Okay, don't let them not do the interview right away, because if you don't do it right away, it won't get done. Okay, or if it does get done, it's going to take a while. Okay. For those that interviews do have to be done, it'll check the box automatically for you, and then it'll walk you through the instructions for doing it. You can do it in English or in Spanish. It's got the times, the days, as well as the different vendors that we can utilize for these phone calls too. And then you'll just, once you're done, you'll put the information on the case number and information in there once you're done with the actual call itself. Okay, and when you're on the phone, they'll give you instructions on what to put in there for you. Okay. Now remember, we still haven't sent it to us. So as I said, if we have to do it for you, you're going to tell us what time to try and call the applicant, and then you'll hit save and continue. Okay. So now we need to finalize the application. Now once the status is going to say ready to submit. Okay, we have all of our old applications in progress here. Okay, we have David Smith and Marlene Jones and Celeste Prater. Celeste Prater was the application that we just did. It's sitting there ready to submit. I'm going to click on Celeste, and it's going to pull up a new window right here for you. It's going to say submit to home office, which is probably what you're going to do. But if you need to edit the application or view it or manage the signatures on it, you can do that. You can also see what it looks like, and you can add stuff to it if you need to. Okay. If you change a signature on it, or if you change anything on the application itself, whether that's our application or any insurance company's application out there electronically, they're going to make everybody re-sign everything. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you change anything on there, you're going to need to get new signatures from just about everybody out there. So that's why make sure the stuff that you put in is correct the first time, so you don't have those problems in the future. Okay. Now, if you had an application that you saved previously, you want to quick manage the signatures, you need to add a signature to it. We clicked on Celeste, then we click manage signatures, and then we would go back and do the signatures just like we did, where it pops up the little window for you, have them use the stylus or use their finger, sign off on it, and off we go. Okay, so applications in progress will show you the status. It will show either pending or signatures needed or ready to submit. Okay, so you've got all three different statuses sitting there. Okay, once you submit them, they will leave from that top section of applications in progress and go down to the bottom section where it says applications previously transmitted. Okay, and as I mentioned before, if you change it, the signature will require, if you change anything on the application after the fact, then you're going to need them to re-sign everything for you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, it's going to warn you, any signatures previously captured will be lost and cannot be recovered. So once you decide to edit, that's your nuclear button. Don't do it unless you're sure that you're going to need to redo it that way. Okay. If you need to upload a copy of a voided check, which typically you don't need to do, but if you want to do that, you can take a picture of it and upload it to us that way. Okay, select attach, and then you take a photo. You take it on your phone or your iPad. It's got a camera on there. Okay. It could recognize check images on there, so then you can view or delete it. To be included with the application paperwork, it must be uploaded prior to transmitting. So before you tell it to transmit, before you tell it to submit to home office, it needs to be part of the package. Otherwise, we've got other ways to get it to us, but just for simplicity's sake, try to include the stuff before you do all that. As I mentioned before, once you transmit it to us, it's going to be in the previously transmitted area. So down there at the bottom, you can see where Celeste Prater's application is now at the bottom area down there. You cannot edit stuff you've already sent to us. Okay. Now you can see the stuff on our agent website where you can check your pending and issued application status. So you'll need to log into your agent e-file found on our main website. Our mobile app is only used for sending us new applications, and the document is very simple and very easily laid out for you. When you log into it, you'll go to either for the most part, either AmericanAmicable.com or accidentallife.com, depending on what your main company contract is with. Once you log in, it all looks the same though. It's the top left-hand corner where it says live chat. If you click on that, it'll take you to the live chat feature. So that's where we do our risk assessments. That's where you can chat with our marketing assistants. You can check on, underwriting case statuses or whatever you want to check on. Use that live chat feature. It's a great way to get a hold of us, and a great way to get the information you're looking for. Specifically, there's a few buttons on here that I'm going to spotlight for a second. That service request button is kind of your one-stop shop for sending us info. So if you have a pending case and you want to send, and we're asking you for more information about your client, and you want to submit it to us, there's a way to do it there. If your client misses a premium payment, you need to send us updated banking info, you can do it through there. You need to change your own banking info for your commission deposits, you can do it through there. Basically anything you need to get help on, service request is kind of your starting point for that stuff. The agent e-file, the next button down, is where you track your reports at, track your pending correspondence, you check your commission statements, all that stuff. We'll go through the agent e-file in more detail in just a second. Order supplies is where you can either order hard copies of all of the forms and brochures that we have, which are available both English and Spanish, or you can download the PDFs for those products and brochures and supplies and agent guides and all that stuff right to your computer. So I like to download stuff and keep it on my computer, so I always have access to it. If you need to print out one copy of something, you can just do that easily from your own printer, your home computer there. If you want us to send you some supplies, it'll take us 2 or 3 business days to get that supply order out to you, but they'll mail out to your home or business address for you. The mobile business tools will take you to that insuranceapplication.com website, which is where you access our e-apps, okay, for our different products out there or to run quotes. New business underwriting has our new business underwriting rules in there. So if you have questions about different stuff, that's a good place to start there. And at the very bottom, there's the e-training. So sessions like this one that we've done for other products like the final expense or for our new agent overviews that we do, we have copies of those sitting out there. So you can access those training materials on a 24/7 basis and learn more about the products and services that we provide for you out there. So utilize our agent website to your advantage. There's a contact us button on there. You can email us, or it's got contact info for the home office. Whatever you need, the agent website's got it that you can get to. Specifically on the agent e-file, if you want to see some of the reports down at the bottom down there, have most of the reports that you need for everything from advance statements to commission statements to correspondence on your policies. In fact, if I were to click on the policy correspondence report, which is everything we send to you about either pending or in-force cases that we need more information about this, or this client missed their premium payment, they're in danger of lapsing, that's where this stuff would be at. If I click on view, it pulls up a list of the dates that we sent you stuff, and then you can go click on the appropriate date and find whatever we sent to you that day. So that's how our agent e-file is organized. If you want to see a list of your clients out there, just click on view client list and they'll pull down a list of your clients that way. If you want to see your production with us for the either current year or prior year, you can access those on the website as well. So there's lots of different reports out here, very easily laid out, very clean layout for you to access all the stuff with us. So, to kind of summarize what we've gone through today, we've got a really easy issue and easy to work with portfolio for yourself. We don't require exams for your clients. That is so important. People are busy, and trying to track them down for a blood draw or urinalysis or check their height and weight or blood pressure, whatever, is difficult. Well, we're going to issue cases without that information because we can get it somewhere else. Those no-cost riders can help you sell more policies than the ones that you're in, as well as showing people what's in it for them. Remember, there's people don't always tell you that they want to know what's in it for them, but the no-cost riders can really turn those life insurance policies into living insurance policies for themselves. You have all these optional riders you can add to really tailor and custom make these policies for your clients' needs out there. We will take business from you however you want to send it to us. Our applications are simple and easy to get through. We've got advanced financing available for those who receive commissions directly from us. We'll turn around your cases quickly. An average turnaround time about 3 days on clean business that comes in. We're strong and secure financially, so we're going to be here for you for the long term. I just show you how easy and simple the agent portal is. Use that live chat feature on there when you're trying to communicate with us. It's so simple and so easy to use. But if you can't, we've got some phone numbers and some email addresses for you to contact us at 800-736-7311. If you hit 111, you'll get connected to one of our new business agent support people out there. Email marketingassistance@aatx.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about what we do as a company, you want to know more about what I talked about, if you need help ordering brochures, you need help, whatever you need out there, we want to help you. You are our most important customer out there, and we can't be successful if you're not successful with us out there. So, well, I thank everybody for being on the call today.